Hey, what's up, guys? DOI Duelist here. I'm back at you again with more Yang Zing nonsense. Sorry for been a while since I've uploaded. I'm planning on uploading a second video soon after this one, within like a couple days, so keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, we got here the updated deck list, the TCG deck list at least, post-banlist. As you can see here, deck isn't really much different. Without the, I mean, I guess like from the ban list, it's not much different. The only thing we lost was Elec, which wasn't really necessary for like the majority of our combos anyway. It just makes things a little more inconvenient and stuff. But as long as you play properly, you shouldn't really notice the loss of Electromite, so don't worry about it. But as you can see here, we got a couple new techs. We got a couple of new additions that I'd like to cover and just cover the deck, and it's pretty cool. Actually, we should replace something with the side deck with Lightning Storm. I forgot that's like out or coming out, whatever. For online play at least, that thing's expensive. But if not, you have your own sides. That works out too. So right now, what we've got here is Vishuddha. Let's just cover all the new apparent, like the very apparent new changes, right? Let's just cover Vishuddha, right? So Vishuddha, not only is he removal, we're only playing one of them because we don't. When you're playing like Souls and Where Art Thou, basically any Yang Zing plus any Metalfoe is a combo with Vishuddha and or Souls, either or, right? They do different boards, but generally like that's just the main combo. And the reason why I'm running one Vishuddha is because from my testing, I noticed like I was breaking a bit more because since they're both conditional cards, if you draw like both of them or like the War Off Down Vishuddha or something like that, it makes the rest of your hand have to be like above average good and stuff like that. It just hurt the consistency. And we're still running one Vishuddha because there's a combo with Yazi where if you have Chiwin in graveyard while you have Yazi, like you made him with Chiwin plus Zephyr or something, then that's like 5 card removal. And I can show you guys that in a second, but or maybe in a different video when I cover budget Yang Zing Metalfoes, which I plan to be the next one for everyone that's worried about having to pay for souls and like Appaloosa and stuff. I get you. I understand. So that's gonna be the next video idea. But really, let me show you the combo. I do have the Vishuddha combo ready for you here. All right. So this is just a solo mode kind of thing. I just want to show you what you do with Vishuddha plus anything. You do need a discard from how I've done the combo because you don't make the Baxia pop that would get you a draw from like Metalfoes Fusion. You have to use it to get the other scale if like this is your hand, right? So you can see, boom, someone Chiwin. Since Vishuddha's level 7 worm, we can make Baxia and still have Chiwin established in the graveyard, which is really strong. Bam, we get to pop it, get another scale. We revive the Chiwin specifically because it's the one whose effect we haven't used yet. So to establish Zephyr, we gotta pop it, make Zephyr, blah blah blah, and then bam, we have the link. Now it's important that you pendulum summon Zephyr first before using Shaman Effect because Shaman Effect turns off Zephyr, right? So it's a very important distinction. They have to be able to make sure that Zephyr resolves because 9 pillars is really important for the deck, right? So boom, get pillars, revive Baxia, pop Bismugear. In this case, if you didn't have Bismugear as a scale, you wouldn't set counter, you would set fusion or something. Just another pop to get value. But since Bismugear replaces itself, we get to have counter set, which is really huge for our comeback and longevity for like OTK and stuff turn 3. So with this kind of hand, it's just better to set counter. But if you don't have Bismugear, you would set fusion. Bam, Appaloosa, 3 material. We get to search the Bismugear in the end phase. And this is, this kind of like standard board, like quote unquote 5 negates, 3 material Appaloosa, and the pillars combo into Herald. So not only is Vishuddha a combo enabler, but he's also removed because we have Metalfoes, and Metalfoes make Vishuddha's graveyard effect alive. So 10 years, 10 year Metalfoe Yang Zings, I don't know, maybe not enough. If you're playing 3 Vishuddha, because I would recommend playing 3 Vishuddha if you're budgeting, right? Vishuddha is a decent replacement for souls in terms of having like combos and stuff, but I don't know. I think it'd be kind of funny to say like Ying Zing, Metalfoes, Zephyra, Tenyi. We're just gonna add more names to the deck list title. And next we have Souls, the meta shifting powerhouse of the format. Literally just boosted spirals up to a whole new level of ability to actually be, you know, a really strong meta contender. It's obviously an extremely powerful card. And the synergy that it has with this deck is very apparent, you know, just from looking. I mean, you know, Metalfoes, you have cards that spell and traps that activate when sent to the graveyard and have effects and gain advantage, and Souls lets us draw. So automatically, like, that's pretty huge. That's pretty huge value, right? And I have a replay set up that'll show, you know, the power of Souls and Vishuddha at the same time. You know, it was a weird hand where you use both in a combo. It was just very cool. You know, just be able to just have that tune one, you know, showcasing, right? It's actually the replay that shows up in Farfa's table 500 thing where, you know, I send in the replay, I showed up, you know. So if you've already seen that, then this is basically just going to be a deeper analysis of the decision making and stuff done within that replay. But, you know, it's Souls, right? In Metalfoes, you get to draw 3. Like, if you set combination and fusion, not only do you get to draw 3 cards because 2 draws from Souls and the draw from fusion effect in graveyard, you get a combination search too. So if it finishes scales, it's just really strong. It's a really powerful interaction, and it makes us gain free advantage. Next, what's new? Abomination. Yeah. So actually, I was thinking about this card a while ago, like in probably a couple months ago or something, when theorizing, you know, what I could play in this extra deck before I play at any events or anything. And Abomination did come up, you know, because inherent synergy, Metalfoes proc him, you know, popping in the end phase and stuff is really good in the back row matchup right now, especially in this meta, or this expected supposing meta where you have Guru and Altergeist and stuff. And Abomination is pretty imposing, you know. But I just couldn't find a reason to play him. I couldn't give myself a good enough reason, right? He just seemed like a win more card. But thanks to someone in my Discord, I mentioned him as Taito. He, you know, explained to me, or he mentioned to me, like, oh, you know, we proc it, you know, with our negations and stuff. And I was saying, like, yeah, you know, you're right. If you have a back row matchup instead of Appaloosa, if you make Abomination, after 9 pillars, you negate something, Abomination can pop, right? And if you don't want to use that effect, then you have a second opportunity when you negate something with Herald of Arclight, because that destroys 2. So bam, you get a pop like a back row, they said, or a monster or something. While also in the end phase, you need to pop another back row. And that's just, you know, that's actually a really pretty big swing in tempo, you know, like pretty big swing in who's winning, right? When you get to pop 2 cards from a back row deck while also still getting 2 negates, like one for their extravagance, another one for like their mellow seek or something. That's just a really, you know, it's a strong interaction. And I play this as an option to go into with like either like IP or just summoning it how you would do in the normal combos for the background matchup, and I think that's pretty cool. Side deck, whatever. That's, you know, I'm not nearly an expert on the meta right now, or like how you want to side or anything. I think this should just go down to personal preference, how you want to side against the meta and whatnot. But like I was saying, the Farfa replay, right? So let me just close this out. So we have the replay ready. I have it right here. We're gonna take a look and see how Souls is super strong. So you see just Metalfoes scales popping each other. You wouldn't even tell this is a Ying Zing deck, by the way, that we're playing right now. But special Vishuddha first, because we have to. We're playing Chronograph as our mill target. I didn't mention that when we were looking at the deck, but Chronograph's just the best spellcaster target, I think, and you know, in my opinion, for this deck. Not only is it a scale and like really weird niche situations, like you need an 8 scale, but also the monster effect's actually pretty useful, because like you say, you pop a Ying Zing, now you get the special, not only Chronograph, but another Ying Zing from your hand, or a Zephyr or something, make a backseat or a link play. It's actually pretty useful. Not useful enough to play at more than one, but useful enough to that where if we open it in our hand, and like, let's say we open Chrono and Souls, oh well, Chrono can special Souls when we pop something. So it's just really, really convenient, really good. Man, that's just the target I picked. If you think there's a better target, put it in the comments or something. That'd be really interesting to see. What target for souls do you think would be the best for this deck, right? But anyway, right here we get the send to, draw two. We get this search for the other scale we're missing, draw another card. We drew the Ying Zing we needed for a combo. Unfortunately, it's like the worst. It's like the it's better than no Yang Zing, but like drawing Bien in this hand was kind of awkward, for the end board, because normally the Yang Zing that we would draw into in this scenario and pop is what we would leave on the field as a 9 pillars target, right? So we would 9 pillars in this case have to target Bien. But that sucks because the Yang Zings can't special themselves. Like, you can't special another name of Bien from Bien effect, which means we couldn't get the Herald of Arclight play because we started with Bien, which is why later on you're going to see that we're going to have to make Yazi as the 9 pillars pop because of the way that we drew the hand. And you can see I backseat shuffled my scale because we used both scale pops, and we needed another scale pop to get the Zephyr New access from popping Chi-1, as you saw in the Dueling Book replay for the combos. So right here, bam, we have the Link Summon play. Boom, Pendulum Summon for 2 because pendulums. I think I remember Farfa saying that during the video. He was just, just getting hyped on pendulums and whatnot. It's a funny deck. And right now, if this was if Bien was like a Bixie or like even a Pulao, right? This board would be a bit better. It'd be significantly better. We'd have like an IP play. We'd have IP into Unicorn, plus the Appaloosa, plus the 2 Omni Negates from Herald. Because we would just use the Zephyr Niu and the Baxia and the Shaman into Appaloosa. These two probably into IP. We would get the IP material for the Link Summon from counter after we 9 pillars. And then the card in hand we would need to discard would be the Bismugear, Search, and the end phase. And we would still have full scales because counter graveyard effect, right? That would have been really cool to have ready, but unfortunately we just didn't. It was bad luck, right? And I say bad luck in quotations because being able to draw the Yang Zing to do this board in general is not, not like bad luck. But, standard, like, quote-unquote, 6 negates, right? 4 Meteoropalusa, 2 Omni Negates. And I let him resolve Cerberus because I plan to negate the Jackal. And the reason why I don't want him to summon Cerberus is because he's so huge and beefy. I don't want him to attack over my Appaloosa. Not only can he attack over my Appaloosa, but also he has his own removal effect that's banishing when he gets his own counters. I don't want to deal with that. That's a lot of power and removal for my board. So I really had to negate Jackal and prevent him from summoning that Cerberus out. And then bam, I use all the stuff that we can use, right? Counter, bam bam, normal stuff you've seen before. And then he activates Servant and Scale, right? At this moment I'm thinking, far from the video, I guess I don't want to reference the video too much because it's something separate from that, but criticism is like, why didn't I negate Servant and Scale? And the reason I do that is because he has 3 cards in hand, right? So assuming that all 3 of them are usable spells or like a scale and 2 spells, as long as I negate one of those 3 cards in his hand, he can't get 3 counters on Servant, which means I don't have to be that afraid of it. And especially because if he has a card like Pendulum Call or like Duelist Alliance, being able to negate that is this huge value while also preventing the Servant from getting counters. It's like 2-in-1 value by negating the spell and also preventing counters, right? And that was actually turned out to be the correct decision in this case because he had Knowledge in his hand. I don't know what he would have drawn off Knowledge. Into the Void and Master, pretty scary. That would have been a tough situation to be in if I did negate the Servant. All I had was monster negates for that kind of board, But then again, yeah, that would have been pretty rough because he would have this in his hand, so the Void would be live. As you can see, I negate. Why negate? I negated this guy's effects because it would have killed the Appaloosa. So I'm like, I guess you have to negate it. And then I negate this because it would have special summoned Servant, Cerberus. It would have special summoned something, and I don't want him to have. It would have even if he summoned a Jackal, that would beat over this. or crash into it actually. How big is Jackal again? I shuffled it. Whatever. Jackal is at least equal size or bigger, and it would have a monster negate, possibly, depending on what this last card in his hand is. It's just free, right? Appaloosa is just a free negate. No reason not to negate it, really. I don't really care if it dies in battle. And then we just mop up, right? I mean, at this point, we just make the link for pendulums, right? Blah, blah, blah. We're just going off. In this scenario, I could have going for Oracle going for Oracle instead of the Zephyr Divining Strike means we could have kept our scales. But if it didn't really matter why I searched for Zephyr New, because he's going to die this turn anyway. He's going to lose everything he has on the board. He's going to get OTK'd, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I mean, that's what this is what the TCG version of this deck's like, post-banlist. The Electromite ban doesn't really do anything. You can see we're still doing the same combos and stuff. It just makes things a little more inconvenient. You could get punished a bit more for making incorrect decisions regarding like what to set with Metalfoes and stuff, and whether to keep your scales, stuff like that. I don't know. The ban list actually helped us more than anything because it banned Pinkertops, which has a really unfortunate interaction with 9 pillars, and it bans Reboot, and Reboot just kind of messes us up, right? Reboot's messed up. But yeah, I mean, that's the video. Hope you guys liked it. Like I said, I think I'm planning on releasing another video pretty soon, within a couple days, something like that, for playing this deck budget-wise and having the deck list up and everything. And yeah, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And comment, blah blah blah. Thanks. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Peace out.